All right, ladies and gents, hello and welcome to today's video analysis. Tokyo Olympics, the men's four. Let's get on with it. All right, where do I start? Okay, who's in the field? First of all, we got Romania, we got the US, we got Australia, we got Great Britain, Italy, and the Netherlands. There are a couple of protagonists I want you to have a specific look at. The first one, Romania. 6 years ago, they started, came out of nowhere, had an awesome under 23 boat, and they made it now to have a Romanian men's four at the Olympics. Good Lord, did they do a great job having an 8. Okay, they didn't make the A final on the men's side, but having an 8 at the Olympics and a 4, that is outstanding. The next protagonist, of course, is Australia. Australia is going to win this. No spoiler, everybody knows it. And I think there's a great discrepancy between the center pair and stern and bow. They have a tandem rig in the center, and the technique varies drastically, but for them, it works out well enough to make an Olympic gold. Just kidding, this is awesome. Okay, the next main protagonist, sad one although, is Great Britain. Major steering problems. Yeah, they're gonna lose out on a medal. I personally believe they would not have made a medal because they've got the utter crazy boat in that field next to the crazy Romanians, the obnoxiously crazy Italians. I love them. Pepe Vicino is, I think, a model for, I don't know, Versace. I'm not into that stuff. So he was all goofing off on Instagram. And, you know, sometimes, or most of the time, when people start to pay more attention to how their social media presence is, their real world performance actually drops, but not so much with him. Fantastic. All my respect. Okay. Super interesting first fact. Romania's starting stroke rate, I have to look at the GPS data, but it's 50 strokes per minute or faster. That's a typical Romanian thing. Stroke rate, stroke rate, stroke rate. And if it doesn't work, hey, we can always do more stroke rate. And it works. That's crazy. I mean, look at them. Here they are. Boom, so fast. 52. But hey, the Italians with 47 almost appear to be lame versus the Australians with 45. Interestingly, the Australians, right from the start, they have the fastest boat speed, 22 kilometers an hour, when everybody else is almost 1 full kilometer an hour slower, almost. Not everybody, but almost. That is insane. So essentially, the Romanians and the Australians battled for, no, they don't battle for the lead. Australia is pretty much alone in the lead very soon. And then we have Romania. That's a good shot. Romania, 21.2. Australia, 22 kilometers an hour. Crazy. GB likes to start out fast. Already here, steering problems. But we've seen this in the 8, and it wasn't a big deal with the other boats too. 21.6, second fastest boat on the entire field. And then, well, everybody else, 21.2. As if they had agreed. Hey, guys, what we're going to do right after the start? 21.2? Yeah, that's a good idea. The Aussies not going to play along. Well, don't matter. The British not going to play along as well. Let them do their thing. We're going to do 21.2. All right, let's agree. And it was the same in the women's A. Everybody essentially had the same boat speed afterwards, except on the women's side for the New Zealand A. Awesome. So interesting. Let's move on. But 500-meter mark. What does it look like? Australia in the lead. Romania just behind. 123? 123? It's crazy. Australia just behind, not even a full second. GB, 1.3 seconds. The US, 1.7 seconds. And the Netherlands, 2.1. Where is Italy? Oh, 2.5 seconds behind at the 500. 2.5. That is a world. I mean, they are interested in making a medal. This is what I love about the Italians, you know. Looking up the boat, they're heavily... they do their weird dance on Instagram and it looks funky. They're 2.5 seconds behind at the 500. All right, let's move on. And that's it. That's the interesting thing about rowing. Actually, different nations do things in a different way. They are not doing it all the same way. You know, for example, the British usually have the cleanest technique of them all. They may not use a lot of upper body and okay, but they're super well synced. You know, you can always refer to the British boat as the most beautiful one. Always. And you can always refer to the Italians as these are the ones that are going to look out of the boat. They're going to come really hard at the last part of the race. It's super crazy. When nobody believes it, they will be fast. You can always, that's so predictable, predictably crazy. Probably. Okay, let's move on. The Australians, you see the shoulder work? I mean, a lot of people will come now and say, Aram, they are Olympic champions. They are untouchable. You cannot argue with the Olympic champions. You cannot. Well, I can. I'm here at my desk. Nobody's here. Nobody holds me at gunpoint. So I can say whatever I want. And the interesting thing about the Australians is that their tandem brake pair right in the middle, they are so loose and relaxed during the drive. Crazy. Beautiful. That is, look at that. His shoulders almost too relaxed. Oh, I'm a bit concerned about his health, but oh, nice hang, solid leg drive, late pivot, upper body engages before the arms, super nice tension. Oh, wow, I'm impressed. This is awesome. This is a bit weird, but it's fast. Narrow grip. Outside shoulder at the finish is just barely higher than the inside shoulder. The elbows as close to the body as possible. Hey, but if you're in the lead at the 600 at the Olympic A final, there's not much you're doing wrong apparently. And after all, it's not a beauty contest. That's the best argument I have. Bow guy, look at that. Awesome. Straight, face straight. And these sunglasses always look sharp. It's not scientific, but I just liked it. Shoulder girdle moves out with that's a sign of professionalism. Shoulder girdle moves along with the inboard. That is gorgeous. I just love that. That is such a beautiful view. Also here, that is great. I mean, if you don't like rowing, that's okay. But if you cannot appreciate something like this, we're not friends. And interestingly, look at that. Let's go back a couple of strokes. Okay. To me, it seems like the two portside rowers need a long time to connect their blades in the water because of their funky shoulder motions. Okay. Catch. Nothing. Boom. Now. That is just appearance. I'm 100% sure they're synced. In a 4, you can't really miss this one out. Otherwise, funky things happen. And going straight in a sweep 4 is kind of an important thing, as we're going to see later on. To me, it looks like the technique... We interrupt the program for a quick announcement. Can you look at how the boat picks up speed the moment their blades start to engage? Boom! That is awesome. I might sound a bit euphoric, but I am. I mean, first of all, I love the boat class. It's one of my favorite boat classes. And the way they pick up, that boat just jumps forward every time their blades catch the water. I'm amazed. I'm a big fan of this 4. I am. I'm sincerely am. Look at that lead. I mean, that is a full boat length over everybody else. There's not even one boat coming close. This is, I mean, over everybody else. Wow. Crazy. Now this is this is a good shot. What I absolutely fancy about the Australians. Nice, look at that leg drive, that upper body control, that late swing. Use of the upper body. You gotta go crazy. I mean, look at that. Interestingly, one thing, see, they rotate, look at the inside hand, all of them. Rotate with the inside and the outside hand. And it works quite well. I was taught that you only rotate with the inside hand, you don't want to rotate with the outside hand. No, that's a full rotation. Can't be that bad. Long leg drive, late upper body swing, beautiful. Look at that tension. Lower abs, quads, that is great. Wow. Patient drive, late swing. So well synchronized. 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3. Look at that synchronicity. It is crazy. Leg drive, leg drive, leg drive. Nice hang. I mean, this is gorgeous. And such a right, you can actually see that triangle. So hands, hip joint, feet. Nice drive, late swing, synchronized, woo, tension. I mean, can it get any better? No. Stroke eye. Stroke eye is a bit of a weird shoulder motion, but again, same principle. Leg drive, late swing, wow, massive finish. This is undeniably effective. And a lot of people say it's all about legs and you got to use your upper body early at the catch and all that nonsense. Look at the Australians. Excuse me. Look at the Australians. Look how well they do this. And yes, I'm referring to the Olympic champions. So if the boat speed in a four were that high that you had to use your upper body right away, that's a lame argument, by the way, because you're moving in the wrong direction with your handstand. Then why is it that the Olympic champions in a straight four with the first 500 meter at 123 point something seem to be not too quick, seem not to have too quick of a boat speed in order to use their upper body late? All the proponents of, oh, you cannot use your upper body too late because the boat speed is so high. They can very well. Late swing, mass, job, mass. Here they are, look at my cursor. Wow, buck. Boat speed comparison. Very interesting. I found this one super interesting. Australia, 20.8 kilometers an hour. They haven't dropped much. 22 and now almost 21 kilometers an hour. Great Britain, 20.6. And now Italy starts to wake up. 20.4. I don't know what they did. Took a break for the first 500, had some lunch, had a snack, I don't know. Romania at a 20, not their best 500 here, but they're still with the leading pack. Well, with the medal contenders long after Australia. Yeah, that's what I meant with the shoulder of the number 2 guy. See this right there, here? There's almost a leg drive starts. Check the shoulder right there where my cursor is. It looks like the shoulder actually goes down and is extended. I personally think there, just from a health perspective, a bit more tension would actually secure the shoulder's health in the long run. It is super effective, it is absolutely great, but this may cause an injury in the long run for the outside shoulder. Yeah. Now the interesting thing happens. So GB is well in second position. It all looks good for them, but you would expect GB to do right that. I mean, this is their boat. There were times where it was only interesting who's going to be second and third. I wonder who's going to be second and third. Don't you wonder who's going to be first? No, there were years. No, it's Great Britain. Who's going to be second or third? That's how dominant they were. But as far as I reckon and I'm informed, rowing GB has had quite a few upsets just before the Olympics. Jürgen Goblo is now working for the French, was then not with the British anymore. As far as I'm informed, there were quite some heavy politics going on. I'm sure the British Rowing Federation is the only federation in the world where we see political issues. I'm sure anybody watching this has absolutely zero experience with political issues in their own rowing federation. Let's move on. Romania in third. That's the thing. I mean, their stroke rate is, I have to check the data, but I think they were in the high 40s for most of the race. For most of the race. That is crazy. And Italy has already caught up. They must have had a crazy second 500 because now they are... No, they didn't have a crazy second 500. They are 4.5 seconds behind. So they only lost 2 more seconds. This is so crazy because I know the outcome of the race later on. Okay, so Romania 3.5 behind, Italy 4.5 behind, GB 2.5 behind. Looks like a boring finish, doesn't it? The third 500 is usually a tough one because everybody feels lactate. Everybody does. I train my athletes to push in the third 500 because this is where everybody suffers the most and this is where everybody feels sorry for her or himself the most. And it sucks. The third 500 is never fun. But if you can attack right there, oh yeah, that is good. And that is precisely what the Italians are now starting. So Italy is 27 meters behind. 27. That's a great shot of the British. They're so... Look at the British here. This is what I meant before when I said, look at the British. They're always so well synced up. The way they row is absolutely disciplined, staggeringly beautiful. You may say, ha ha, they had steering issues later on. Okay, I remember a final where in a German quad, I think somebody caught a crap and missed the medal. Things happen. And fortunate you that you are not in a position of the bow guy of the British. It's easy to judge others. But, oh, look at the Australians. Oh, great. Nope, back once more. That is mind-blowing. Leg drive. Look at that discipline. Body swing, tension. Oh, yeah, you can say, okay, goofy shoulder work up and down. All true. But look at the rest. I mean, it's awesome. British now, starting to push. And a nice push in the third 500, just crossing the 1500. They actually now overlap with Australia. Awesome. But the Romanians were not lazy as well. Italy, they somehow, that is one of the things I just don't get. The Italians, no matter where they are in a race, if it's their boat class, and even if there's, I'm exaggerating here, even if they're still at the start and you're at the 1000, you can never be sure that these guys don't come back. They come back from the most awkward positions in a race. Yeah, Britain, moving along, oh, beautiful. And they were, oh, it's really good. Already now they have steering problems. You see they're quite to the left side. Italy, look, I mean, what on earth is Italy doing here? They're doing their Italian dramatical sprint to the finish line. And that is exactly what, they've just passed Romania. So about the 1500 meter mark, I mean, the perspective is a bit deceiving here, but Italy and Romania almost neck and neck. Britain, solid second position. Italy just passing Romania. I mean, what is going on? 1750, and this is now where the British become under heavy attack, and you cannot blame the bow guy of the British. When I saw this race for the first time, I couldn't stop laughing. I'll let it play so you know what I mean. You got the crazy Romanians on the left. They can do stroke rates where other people don't even think it's possible, so a 48 or so. The Italians are just totally insane. Their sprint capacity towards the finish line is unmatched. That is completely they put all their Italian drama and soul and all their hard blood and whatever they have into their finish sprint. And you cannot do nothing. Huh? You cannot do nothing against an Italian finish sprint. It is not possible. Not possible. Sincerely speaking, I think they put so much drama into their finish sprint and so much. They're so explosive. It's irresistible. One reason for that, I think, is that I'm not too well informed about their training, but as far as I know, most of the training is actually super intense. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who has inside information, please post it in the comments below, send me an email. But as far as I'm informed, the Italians do a lot of high intensity training. They don't really bother with low intensity. I don't get it. That's not for us. So they're so used to that their aerobic capacity, quote unquote, sucks. So it's of course it is great and awesome and also, but they cannot really stay with the pack. So they kind of have to be careful not to waste their potential too early in a race. Let's put it that way. It's like driving a Ferrari in a long distance race. A Ferrari is a well sought after car. A lot of people wish to have it, but anybody who actually has one knows that it's not the best, not the most reliable long distance daily driving car. Now, what do you do if the only car you have available is a Ferrari? Looks great, is awesome, but you kind of have to be super careful for most of the race. And the last 600, hey, it is a Ferrari. You know how fast it can go? Very fast. It's not scientific, but kind of, you get the idea, okay? Good. And that is essentially what's happening. So Great Britain is under enormous pressure. You got the crazy Romanians on their left and the even more crazy Italians on their right. And it's the last 400, and you better bring home a gold medal. Gold? Australians are well ahead of us. Well, a medal is the least we expect from you. They are under a lot of pressure. That's a prestige boat. They haven't lost this in a long time. And that is not the ideal situation to start the last 350 of an Olympic A final. And this is where all the mess happens. Now this is the dramatic scene. Great Britain has massive steering issues, and I was doing some research. It was just steering issues. Nothing happened. And you can actually see the Italians looking out and say, "Oh, what are those crazy British doing?" And instead of raising their hands, let's just go faster. Let's just do a finish sprint. That is awesome. Romanians catch the silver, Italians catch bronze, Australia gold. There's one thing. Look how little there is between the Italians, the Romanians, and the Australians. Almost nothing. That is not a lot. Romania would have almost caught the Australians. Now, if we go back to that position, that is quite some difference. If we go back here, the Italians are not even in the picture. And the Romanians are endlessly behind the gold medal. Now, if we go forward, that is a different picture. So never judge a race until you see the finish. I thought that Matt Pinson's tweet was the most sensible one about the British. He essentially said he didn't want to be in his position. It's quite difficult to steer well, and I think that's the best you can do. For me, the interesting thing and the most sensational thing is not the steering problems of the British. For me, the most sensational thing is how Romania managed to build up such a high level crew for the Olympics within a span of 6 to 8 years. Their program is mind-blowing. For me, fascinating is how on earth Italy manages to pull off sprints like these. Fantastic. And for me, one of the greatest sensations is Australia's rowing technique and the way they use their upper body weight for most of the drive. That for me is, well, the greatest sensation of that race. Now I'm curious, what do you think? Any inside information? I'm so curious I love to read all the comments. I'm super slow in responding, but I just love to read them. So thank you very much for watching. Share the video if you think it is worthwhile sharing. Thank you for watching. And if you want to work with me, go to armtraining.com. All the best. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Julep.